It's been over a century since a black jockey won the Kentucky Derby, and only one has competed in the race since 1921. This Saturday, U.S. Virgin Islands native Kevin Krigger will become the second black jockey to compete since then, and the first with a real shot at winning. Bookmakers have placed Krigger as the second favorite to win the $2 million Run for the Roses. But why has a sport that was once dominated by black riders in its early days seemingly closed its ranks to African-American jockeys?
Change was that the money got really good, and the jockeys were probably ridden out of the sport. Again, thinking about historically how they became involved, if you imagine that these owners of horses and livestock need to clear land, well, they're going to use the muscle of blacks who were enslaved at the time to do so, and would also be in charge of maintaining the horses in their stables, training them, grooming them, and of course, riding them.
I think the money might have been one part of it only, but I really subscribe to theories that have been accepted among historians that at the time the black jockeys started disappearing, there was a huge paranoia in white society about black persons being visible, so to speak, and particularly about black males. And so the reasons are so textured, so multi-layer on why we didn't have more black jockeys. But I think the larger purses, if indeed your daily average non-stakes races were increasing at all tracks, I don't think that's the whole story. I think that's a simplistic answer.
You have to imagine that when they're during slavery, when these jockeys were riding, even though they were successful, and there may have been an idea that they were guaranteed some success, they could be sold like the horses they rode. And so even though there was some opportunity there to shine, they also were objects that could be sold just like the horses they rode.
What I find most interesting about Kevin Krigger being in this year's Kentucky Derby is what Pellin said, and I would like to reiterate that. The exposure that this guy is getting by virtue of being by having a real shot at winning the Kentucky Derby is that it's giving so many other jockeys on whose shoulders he stands exposure.